I would like to start off with a quote, one of my absolute favorite quotes. It is, respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that does not serve you, grow you, or make you happy. And I'd like to repeat that. Respect yourself enough to walk away from anything that no longer serves you, grows you, or makes you happy. You see, for the longest time, I thought that being happy was based upon my outside influences. I really thought that when I wasn't happy or I was stuck in a rut, whether that was in a job or in a relationship, it wasn't me, it was that person. I just knew that I wasn't happy. And it was for my, there we go. It was for my sister, who really helped me to understand that if I wanted something different, I needed to do something different. And I introduced her a little bit in speech number 5 when I told the story about how I got emotionally hijacked driving to work one day. And I was running late, and I was on the phone with her, and I was so disconnected by what was happening because this person in front of me in the left-hand lane, accelerated lane on 435, was going below the speed limit. And I felt that he was put there to ruin my life. And I was so just outside of my mind, and I was like, oh, what is he doing? I mean, I couldn't get any closer to this person in front of me, or I would have ran into it. And my sister says to me, let me tell you about that person in front of you. That person has he's getting ready to have his first child. And he lost his job 2 weeks ago. But the sad part isn't that, as much as he convinced his wife that this was their first child and that she should stay home. So she quit her job. And for the past 2 weeks, he gets up at the same time and drives around the city aimlessly, no place to go. And at that moment, my heart started to beat just a little bit less. I started to kind of loosen up on the steering wheel, and I was like, oh my goodness, that is so awful. My point here is I have no idea what was really going on with that person in front of me. But her message was quite simple. If you're not happy about something, what are the changes that you can make? I can't control everything else around me, but I can control my own mindset. And to me, that was a very, very powerful message. As most of you know, I grew up in a small town. Rules are optional in a small town. My sweet and loving mother, right there in the middle of me and my sister, I showed up a couple hours late for curfew. And my response was, everybody was still out. Everybody, we all were staying out. And that seemed to kind of be a typical response when I wanted to do something, is everybody was doing it. My mom would simply say, oh, so if everybody was jumping off a bridge, would you follow in after them and jump off a bridge? Well, no, that just seems silly. And so at the time, I didn't realize this is a Dr. Seuss quote, but she would simply say to me, Brandi, how many times do I have to say, why do you focus so much of your energy on trying to fit in when you were born to stand out? And it really took some growing up and evolving before I really understood that message. If we spend so much of our time and energy trying to keep up with others, that's exhausting, and we're losing ourselves in the process. Smart lady, I could spend a whole entire speech on her. Some of you got to meet my dad. He came to Toastmasters, and he is a huge inspiration in my life. When I was at the ripe age of 22, I found myself in management. Now, I was under the impression once you have a management title, people just automatically start listening to you and respect you. I don't know where I misdiagnosed that position and authority. However, I would seek out to my dad. Anytime I have some kind of challenge with work or just leadership, he is my go-to person. And he would simply reassure me that it's not so much about what I say, it's more about what I do. And he really challenged me to be the type of leader that I myself would want to follow. That it's more than just having a title or a position. You really have to work that. My dad was a superintendent, and so I just assumed that everybody just like would fall over to him. And he giggles and he laughs still to this day, and he said, absolutely not. He goes, I had to work harder when I had that title and that position. And he goes, and so will you. And I appreciate that advice so much, because it has really helped me to elevate to where I am today. So as you can see by the first 3 characters that I've introduced to you, that they really helped me to understand, and I apologize, this got cut off a little bit, but this quote says, life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. And through the words of wisdom from my sister telling me to be happy, change your mindset, my mom re-encouraging me to don't try to fit in, don't try to be like everybody else, stand out, be your own person. And my dad reassuring me, listen, if you want to have a leadership role, then be the leader that people would want to follow. And so I did. I created my life. This is a picture of my family, and it's one of my favorite pictures. I was going over the slideshow last night with my girls, and they hate the next 2 slides, and they hated this picture too. But these are people that I have referenced this entire journey with, because when we are in Toastmasters, I mean, we're here because we want to better ourselves. We want to get better. We want to aspire to be greater. And every day I come here, and every day that I wake up, this is what I aspire to do. I aspire to create a life that was better than yesterday, and I look forward to what will happen to tomorrow. So up first is my daughter Chandler. Some of you may remember my speech number 6, Sticks and Stones, which was solely inspired by her and her blogging of the internet and cyberbullying. And when I read her page, I was really moved by just how, mature she is. Not just how mature looking she is, she's 14, but just really how she had such a good grasp. But what I take away so much from Chandler, and just because I feel like, as a parent, I'm the teacher, right? I have got to, teach her everything that she needs to know. But what I've learned parenting Chandler is that it's okay to be the student as well, because she has some things that she can teach me. And one of the most powerful things that I think that she's helped me to understand is to be yourself. And the right people will love you and they'll support you. So she's just awesome. And then there's Avery. Avery's awesome too. Completely different. I remember when people would say, do you have kids? And I'd say, oh yeah, I have 2 kids. And they said, oh, girls or boys? And my initial response was, I'm on God's good humor. I have 2 girls. All I asked is that Avery was nothing like Chandler. So I was like, please, just don't be like your sister. But what I meant by that is Chandler is just such her own person, and Avery is somebody that just sees life as just this beacon and horizon, and she can't wait to do everything. She is like 15 steps ahead, and the best part about Avery is she doesn't let me forget anything. So if I want to procrastinate and put something off, like we're going to go to the store and we're going to get this or that, she'll say, now remember, you said that we were going to go to the store before noon, and we need to get there. So she really helps me to keep on task. So as you can see, I have 2 amazing girls that push me every day, not only to teach, but also to learn as well. And then I have a sweet, innocent baby boy, Vincent. Vincent is my lifeline, because there are days that I really struggle to make ends, like just try to connect the pieces of doing things right, wrong, or different. And he is always there to help remind me without anything that he is there for me. And I just want to share a little bit of a tip. If you have a dog, you will actually produce the same amount of serotonin levels just by seeing them and having them around you as you will from hearing the words, I love you. Huge. In conclusion, I wanted to share the characters that are in my life, but most importantly, I hope that this has inspired you to reach out to the characters in your life and call them up and thank them for being a significant part of your life, and let them know that your life would suck without them. Thank you.